At UFC 274, we watched Charles Do Bronx Oliveira make quick work of fan favorite Justin Gaethje. With Oliveira now on an 11-fight win streak and 7 of those wins coming by way of submission, many die-hard fans, including myself, are very intrigued about a matchup between Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov prodigy Islam Makhachev. Many believe that Islam possesses the unique skills to neutralize that very effective jiu-jitsu game of Charles. Is Makhachev the one to dethrone the champion, or will Charles prove to us just how good he is if this matchup gets made? What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a very interesting matchup that could potentially materialize between up-and-coming prospect Islam Makhachev and current lightweight champion Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. I'll admit, Makhachev has looked pretty unstoppable over the last couple of years, but as the old adage goes, styles make fights, and I think this one is a stylistic dream matchup, and one in which Charles's unique skill set could prove very difficult for Makhachev to overcome. Let's face it, we know how great these guys are in their respective grappling arts, but all fights within the UFC's octagon start on the feet, so let us begin there. Charles possesses a very aggressive come-forward style of striking, very similar to what we see in Muay Thai. Additionally, he throws a lot of knees up the middle, utilizes the Thai clinch, and scores with very vicious short elbows. And yes, it is true, Islam Makhachev is always looking for the takedown. However, he is a bit more willing to mix it up on the feet than his friend and mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov. Makhachev possesses great high kicks and good straight punches in his arsenal. However, potentially the most interesting thing about both of these competitors' striking styles is that neither one of them at all fear being taken down, allowing them to be dynamic, creative, and really mix it up on the feet. While Islam does have better stand-up than a lot of people give him credit for, I do give the slight edge here to Oliveira. I think he has more power than Islam, and I think he mixes it up with better combinations. Next, let's move into the cage and the clinch work that we are sure to see if this matchup comes to fruition. It's no secret that the Dagestani fighters have amazing clinch work against the cage, and they use the cage to set up a lot of their takedowns and offensive attacks thereafter on the ground. Makhachev has one of the best takedown ratios in the entire UFC, and when he gets you against the cage, it's almost impossible to stop that takedown from happening. And similarly, Oliveira is no stranger to the takedown. He likes to utilize the cage to get his opponents to the ground just as well. Charles also likes to throw a lot of elbows and knees when in the clinch, both to do damage and to disguise his offensive grappling attacks. But even with the damage that Oliveira can do against the cage and how effective he is there with the striking, I still give the edge here to Islam because let's face it, that is his bread and butter. It's what him and Khabib do better than anybody else in the world, and I think that Islam will have the slight advantage in the clinch and against the cage. Finally, let's talk about who would win the ground exchanges because, I mean, come on. There's no way these guys aren't going to the ground, right? The way I see this, as far as the UFC is concerned, no fighter is more dangerous on the top position of the ground than Islam Makhachev. That being said, no fighter has a better offensive game from their back than Charles does. Charles has more submission victories than anybody on the UFC's roster, and Islam has better top control and ground and pound than just about anybody in the entire UFC. This really makes things interesting on the ground because I could see scenarios where both men could have their moments, and I really think it would come down to the scrambles and who actually can do more damage when they have the control position on the ground. Any mistake or overextension on the ground against Oliveira and he will submit you. On the other hand, if Islam can lock you down and tie your legs up, he can do massive damage. All in all, I kind of see this as even for both men, and I could see scenarios where both of them have good success against the other on the ground. So back to the original question, can Makhachev defeat Oliveira and become the undisputed UFC lightweight champion? And the best answer I can give is maybe. Islam can definitely accumulate rounds with top control and good ground and pound, and he may even be able to steal a round or two on the feet. But Islam has been KO'd before, and Charles is throwing with a whole new level of power at this stage in his career. Also, Thiago Moises did threaten a couple of leg entanglement submissions against Makhachev in their matchup. They were relatively weak attempts, but he did make Makhachev stop to think a time or two. And stopping to think is not a luxury you have against Oliveira, because if you're thinking, you're pretty close to tapping. Truthfully, I think this fight is 50-50 and could go either way. The opening odds, however, do not reflect that at all. So if you're a Do Bronx believer, it might not be a bad idea to throw a few bucks on the Brazilian finisher. Thanks for watching this video, guys. My brother and I talk all things MMA on this channel, so if that's what you're into, we really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.